Hey, so it's time for an oil change on your Corvette, is it? Well, you came to the right video because I'm going to give you a step-by-step tutorial on how to properly change the oil on a C6 Corvette. This is my 2010 Corvette Grand Sport, and this video applies to any C6 Corvette from 2008 to 2013 with the LS3 engine. Now, obviously, this job is much easier and safer done on a lift. However, not everybody has a lift. So I'm going to demonstrate to you that it can be done without a lift. Here's everything you're going to need, starting off with a jack. I'm using 2 jacks because the car is very low and my big jack does not get under the side. So I'm using one of these crappy little ones that come in mostly every car ever to jack up the side, and then I'm using the big jack to get under the front to make room for the jack stands. That's what else you need. You need a 15mm wrench for the drain plugs. You're going to need a wheel chock. I'm using a block of wood. You're going to need a funnel, oil filter. This is the recommended filter for the dry sump system. You're going to need obviously something to catch the oil. I have 2 catch pans because I think these are like 8 quarts each and it holds just over 10 quarts of oil. I recommend a flashlight. You're going to need at least 10 quarts of oil. The recommended is 5W30 Mobile 1, full synthetic, and something to clean as you will spill oil everywhere. Step 1, before you even think about touching a jack, put your wheel chock under your back wheel. Step 2, you're going to want to get your little jack to lift up so you have enough clearance to get your bigger jack to put your jack stands. Now, if you care about the surface you're changing your oil on under the car, I recommend putting down cardboard or a blanket to catch any spillage of oil that goes beyond the pan. Next up, pop your hood, open your oil cap. This just allows for better airflow, lets it drain better. Okay, I don't know if you can even see me, but this is one drain plug. This is the other drain plug. There's 2. So I like to drain this one first. Once it comes loose, I like to lift up. Quick! That way it doesn't get all over your hand. Okay. And I like to let that one drain first. Looks like it's about done. Do the second one. I'll try to do it without spilling, but that. Nicely done. But as you can see, there's still a lot of oil that comes out of the second plug. Doesn't need to drain completely. I like to tighten it with 2 fingers because you cannot over torque it with 2 fingers. And it's not coming undone. Now we wait for that one. Before you put on your new oil filter, make sure you get some new oil, lather up the seal. You also want to, you could use old oil too, but recommended you use new oil. Want that nice and lubed up. And you're gonna want to pour some in the can. Failed to mention you need vice grips on this certain air filter because the bottom has a portion you can do that. I just don't have a oil filter wrench because that is the most handy for taking off oil filters, especially for the ones that don't have the bolt thing on the bottom. But now that it's loose, very messy. There we go. Dump that out. Gotta wipe my oil off of my cook's headers. Grab your brand new filter. Once it's on there, give it about a 3/4 turn. Three-quarters of a full turn, that is. Or as much as you can with oily hands. That's where an oil wrench or filter wrench would also come in handy. I can see the logo of the can on this side, marking the 3/4 turn from where I started. So that's good to go. Plugs are good. We are good under here. We can let the car back down. Now, once the car is on the big jack and you remove the jack stands, before you lower that, do not forget your little jack, because then you won't get the jack out. All right, hard part is over. The vehicle's now down back on the ground. No problems. We can now add the new oil. Aren't you glad I got 2 catch pan things? They both almost overfilled. If I just got one, I would be screwed. Anyway, now let's get that funnel in there and put both of those jugs in. I did put the plugs back in, right? Just kidding. That's 5 quarts. Now that you got all that oil in there, make sure your cap is back on. And we can now fire up the car and check for leaks. next step, now that your car is a little bit warm, check your dipstick. It's not showing. So there's 3 holes. This is full, this is medium. You can be medium. I'm just over medium.